Om Namo Narayana, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivam, Shivoham, Om. Welcome to another Satsang with your host, Yogi, from the Yogi Cave on a very somber and cloudy day. Let us continue with the Shiva Sutra. I think I was at 3.24. I changed computers, so I'm not totally sure, but I think that was it. Matra sva pratyaya sandane nashtasya punarutanam. Translation: Even if such fall occurs, if the yogi eliminates this intermediate state by constant contemplation of pure consciousness, he can permanently regain steadiness in the turiya state. So basically, commentary, we'll get to that. Many of us yogis have fallen again lifetime after lifetime. We become allured over and over again by Shakti's power of Maya. But there is hope that the fall will not be complete once the yogi achieves a certain level of mastery. The greatest sinners can make the greatest saints if they apply themselves. Jai Makan. So, I'm pretty sure I've had situations like that in past lifetimes where I've been allured by this, that, and the other. Because Maya is very good. And, we have to have an understanding with Maya before moving on. But it gives hope that if we reach a certain state, that we can't necessarily fall back, because there's a lot of stories, both in the Hindu Dharma as well as the Buddha Dharma, of becoming animals and ghosts and all these other things. And that may be the case for people that are not able to advance to a certain level for one reason or another. So that gives hope for fallen yogis. Anyway, 3.25. Shiva Tulyo Jayate. Translation: the realized yogi becomes like Shiva. Commentary: the yogis engage in a process of imitatio Dei. They dress up and act up like the archetypal yogi that Shiva is said to be. This helps them on their path to final merger with their chosen image of deity, or Ishta Devata, Jaimakal. So, this is why they say that Aghoris are near and dear to Lord Shiva, because they take this principle to the extreme. And those that know about the Aghoris know what I'm talking about. But most of us won't go to that extreme, but we will do certain things to imitate the archetypal yogi. And the hope is to be able to have some of that trickle down on us poor little yogis that are trying to find our way home. So that's the point and principle of doing certain things in a certain manner, as yogis are known to do. Anyway, and of course there's Vaishnava yogis, and they would do things in a certain way, and there's Shaiva yogis, they would do things in another way, and there's Shakti yogis, and they would do some things in another way. Anyway, 3.26. Sharira Vritir Vratam. Translation: such a self-realized yogi performs all his physical activities as an act of worship. Commentary: this can be considered a form of karma yoga. Karma means kri, or to create. We create our reality through our actions. As Jesus said, you can recognize a tree by its fruit, and what you reap, so shall you sow. Such are the ways Jesus watered down the mysteries to the masses. Yogis turn their duties into acts of worship. In so doing, they do not incur further regression into Maya. They pay their debts to their maker and earn their way out of the sandbox. Jai Makan. So, this can justify a yogi being in society and doing things in society. A lot of yogis will not be in society. They'll be outside or on the borders of society. But there are yogis for sure, and a lot of them that are in society and doing things in society. Charitable organizations, ashrams, and so forth and so on. So either in or out of that box, The important thing is the mindset that the yogi has. What is this yogi doing these things for? To aggrandize his ego or to fulfill a greater purpose? These things are important. Anyway, 3.27, Kata Japaha. Translation: his common speech is like a mantra. Commentary: realize yogi always says the right thing at the right time in the right way. He understands cadence, vibration, and masters speech. Everything he says has a power to it, for he understands the underlying power of words. He can use that to seduce the masses into their destruction, or he can use that to uplift humanity. Such is the power and seduction of speech. Jai Makan. And if you've seen the speeches that Hitler would make back in the day, you understand what I'm talking about in regards to leading masses to their destruction. The power of speech is great. It can delude the masses, or it can push people to fulfill the Dharma. It's really that simple. It's a double-edged sword. It's a technology, just like anything else is. Like this phone right in front of me. It's a code. And the intent behind the words is really important. So for a yogi, a true realized being, every word has power and depth to it. This is why the idea of a guru is that everything that the guru does and says has some kind of weight, even if it's paradoxical or iconoclastic or whatever the guru is doing at that moment. The important thing is that the yogi fully understands and masters speech. Anyway, 3.28, Danam Atmanjanam. Translation: his gift is the knowledge of the self. Commentary: the yogi has nothing to offer but pure consciousness. He is not terribly interested in his bank account, 401k, or investments, although he may have those. They are nothing but adornments. The yogi is in the world, yet not quite of it. He is a master of his senses, Svamin. He is the very self in the flesh. This is why Shiva is seen mostly as a mendicant. Shiva has nothing to offer anyone but his very self. It is Shakti which bewitches jivas with her Maya. Jai Makan. So, there we go, the dance between Shiva and Shakti, right? And Shakti seduces Shiva to get involved in the world because Shiva doesn't want to have anything to do with it, right? So, a yogi is naked before the world, sometimes literally, as the Baba yogis I've seen in India, but most of it is figuratively, where he's just giving his very self to someone, and most people may not understand or know or fathom what's being done, but that's exactly what it is. And Shiva's that very essence, without adornment, although Shiva, of course, as an archetype, has his own adornments, not fancy bling bling like Vishnu has, but Shiva's very down to earth, so to speak. Vishnu is up in Vaikuntha, he's up in heaven. Shiva's here, in the cremation grounds, smeared in ashes. Very, very straight up and straightforward. And you see what you get. And you only see it according to your ability to see. So most people will be appalled by Shiva, or a yogi like that. The few will understand. Anyway, one more. Yo vipasto ja hetusha. He who is established in Shakti becomes an agent of wisdom, is the translation. Commentary: this means that you are no longer Shakti's slave, but her consort. The yogi that masters Shakti's Maya is no longer Shakti's slave. In so doing, the yogi can use the seduction allure of Shakti herself to achieve the aims of pure consciousness. Jiva merges with Shakti, and Shakti merges with Shiva. Jai Mahakal. So, again, we go back to the difference between being master of something and being the slave of something. It's a very simple equation, and this applies to Shakti's Maya. To the extent that we can understand and master Shakti, then we can use that Shakti to master the matrix. And this is the importance of that equation. Are you a master of Shakti, or are you mastered by Shakti? That's something to think about till the next satsang. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivam. Shivaham. Jai Ma. Jai Mahakal. Till next time.